From the studios of the Performance Motorsports Network, bringing you the fastest 60 minutes in racing. It's Burning Rubber Radio.
Burning rubber, baby.
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 Burning rubber, baby. Burning rubber, baby.
Now, here are your hosts.
I know what the prediction is. You don't even have to explain it. And here it is.
Burning rubber, baby.
Yeah, burning rubber, baby. Woo! Hey, everybody. Welcome to another crazy adrenaline-filled edition of Burning Rubber Radio. I am Andy DeLay, sitting along beside my best friend and the guy who's got his hairs and long blonde locks, Mr. Charles Robinson. How are you doing, buddy?
What's up, Andy?
Nothing, buddy. I'm just ready to talk racing. A heck of a race this week. And, of course, I cannot go without forgetting the guy behind the board that makes everything work. And, by the way, folks, who's been producing our show for just over a year now, Mr. Bob Steele.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just texting one of my Soviet compatriots in the Ukraine. He says there's a lot of partying going on, but for some reason there's an awful lot of Russian soldiers in their country. They haven't figured that out yet. I'll be back to you on an update here in a minute.
Okay, cool. It's funny when Mr. Putin, the president of Russia, is more popular in the United States than our own President Obama, or Bambi, as I like to call him. Anyway, we won't talk politics. We're going to talk racing, and we got a lot of it. We've got, of course, let me try that again. Of course, we're going to say hi to everyone that's listening on AM 1450 in Manchester, Kentucky. Hey, and I want to say a big shout out to Fred out there. We miss you, Fred. And, of course, everybody listening on OFNR.com and Renegade Radio. And, of course, the Performance Motorsports Network. Hey, we're glad you're here. But, Charles, we got a heck of a show. Who are you bringing tonight?
Well, we're bringing in our old buddy Brian Silas, of course, now longtime ARCA driver, but it seems to me he's dabbling a little bit in trucks and dabbling a little bit in the Nationwide, and he's doing a little bit of everything. Of course, he thinks we're treating him like a little stepchild, so we're going to get him on and talk to him about what's going on.
Yeah, I know. He throws a fit when we don't get him on the show at least once a year. And, of course, I'm bringing a friend of ours driving number 24 truck in the Camping World Truck Series. That's Mr. Brennan Newberry. He's going to be with us. And, of course, Dan Smith, he's going to bring us a grassroots wrap-up here on the show. So, folks, we got a heck of a show. Charles, you ready to go? If I can talk right tonight, we'll be doing all right.
Well, if you'd spit out the jumbo hot dogs instead of sitting there trying to talk in the microphone, everybody doesn't know that you got your new AARP certified microphone and headset, so you can hear and talk, but not well.
Anyway, folks, hang out. We're going to be back with the iRacing.com segment right after this.
Hi, I'm Mickey for Bed Bug Detection Services. Bed Bug Detection Services rescues dogs from the Humane Society and the SPCA, then trains them at the Florida Canine Academy. We then pair them up with a handler where they will spend the rest of their lives in a happy family home working in the community. We want to rescue our second dog, but we cannot do it without your help. We are fundraising to bring home our next canine. Please go to bbds.us, that's bbds.us, and do your part in helping us rescue another dog. bbds.us will give life, home, and a meaning to another dog. bbds.us. With every donation, you will receive a signed postcard from our current bed bug detection dog rescue, Lily. Go to bbds.us. And thank you.
Welcome to Blacktop Boot Camp's Beltway Survival Minute, where we teach you how to survive the mean streets of the D.C. metro area. We've already had our first taste of winter, and the body shops are overflowing with cars whose drivers ran out of talent and crashed. 99% of the drivers out there overestimate their driving ability, but we're going to try to help you become a better driver. While today's cars have outstanding features like anti-lock brakes and active handling systems, there's only so much that these systems can do to compensate for driver error. In fact, in snow, sand, gravel, and mud, ABS actually increases your stopping distance by 3 times or more. So an average car that normally stops from 60 miles an hour and 140 feet will take 420 feet to stop in the snow with ABS. So when snow starts piling up on the road, you need to increase your following distance to accommodate for this reduction in braking ability. Cheaper than your insurance deductible, the fun, hands-on driving arts classes at Blacktop Boot Camp teach skid control in our skid car, accident avoidance maneuvers, and more. For information on our corporate and team driving courses, please visit www.blacktopbootcamp.com. That's www.blacktopbootcamp.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio, Now back to the Burning Rubber Radio crew and the guy that thinks someone actually cares that he drove in the Slammer Series.
Yeah, but I did drive in the Slammer Series at Old Corbin Speedway, even though I was the first car every time they lapped me. But anyway, welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio. Andy DeLay up beside Charles Robinson here. Charles, it's time to talk iRacing.com. And I know all you've done this week is sit in those kiddie cars and win races, right?
Well, actually, I jumped into the Carburetor Cup and won a race today, big boys. So don't be talking about my little kiddie cars.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's a good thing because the thing about it is with iRacing, folks, you got to start at the ground level. You can't just jump into a Sprint Cup, or you can't just jump into what they call the Class B or the nationwide cars or even trucks. There's so much more to it than just slamming it into the corners and getting with it. So to develop some kind of a finesse or some kind of a rhythm, I guess you could say, driving the cars, the Legends, late models, street stocks, they're all perfect cars to get. First off, learn out the little tricks of setting them up, and plus two, the driving style of the cars.
Yeah, you're right, Charles, and it's just like in real life. And folks out there who are wondering, what is this iRacing.com? Well, it's a simulation that all the folks that you watch on NASCAR, Formula One, wherever they're racing, they use iRacing.com to practice because they go out there and they scan the tracks in and everything with a laser. So everything that's at the track, you're feeling when you're driving the car through the steering wheel. I mean, it's the real thing. And if you want to try iRacing, all you need is the steering wheel and some pedals and a computer. And get on our Facebook page, the Burning Rubber Radio Facebook page, and just ask us, hey, I want to try iRacing. And we will give you a free 3 months. My gosh, Charles, I'm going to have to spank my tongue. I just won't talk.
We don't want to know what you've been doing with your tongue, how you want to train it, whatever. That's fine with us. Me and Bob are perfectly fine not knowing anything. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about iRacing, folks. Of course, like you said, a simulation. The cars, the physics are like the cars particularly you drive, whether it be, for an example, you drive your kiddie car, aka legend car, or you can jump all the way up and drive the McLaren or the Delaras, or you can drive anything. And that's one of the things I kind of wanted to focus on this afternoon is that they do have fixed setup races to where you can go in, and as long as you're practicing these cars and learn a little bit, you can get out there and race with some of the big boys. Now, I had a good race today actually in the Delaras at Pocono.
Oh, really? And you say a good race, where'd you finish?
Well, actually, I started on the grid 14th and I finished 8th. So that's pretty good considering the guys that I were racing with all had funny accents that I'm not really used to. So, they're getting out there racing. But the thing about it is the courtesy level. And of course, last week, if a lot of people remember, my favorite word was tool.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, there's a difference between racing a road racing car against guys from other countries versus racing stock cars or legends. There's a lot of different language used, and I'll just put it to you this way. It's more of I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get loose. I apologize. That's okay. I understand. Maybe I should have gave you more room, not the bleep, 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 bleep that you get in the stock cars or the legend, whatever. So it's definitely a different kind of racing, especially when you start getting into the road courses stuff with the rough turbos, the C-Spec, and then you start getting into like the Star Mazda or anything. And I'm telling you what, folks, you've got any kind of variety of vehicle that you want to drive is on there. And it just so happens to me that I'm getting to where I love the Legends.
Okay, well, that'll work. I mean, Legends work if that's your thing. I, of course, like driving in the trucks, the Camping World Truck Series or whatever you want to call it. I'd run in that series online. And, of course, as you know, a couple weeks ago, I won in our own Burning Rubber Radio League. And this week, old Dan and them had a heck of a show in there at the Burning Rubber Radio League. I do believe Chris Igo won that one. Am I correct?
I believe so. I'm not really sure on the details. I think it posted on our Burning Rubber Facebook page.
Yeah.
But, of course, I'm looking forward to this week because, my slave contract is up and I actually will be able to stay up late and race Tuesday night. So, boys better be ready.
Yeah, we'll see. I can't wait till you get out there. I do believe we're running Kansas this week, folks. And it's the real Kansas. And Charles will see what the back of my tailgate looks like until he bumps me and wrecks me and the 4-letter words come out.
Or when you flip around and slide into the corner because you can't stay in front of me like before. I can name. We don't have a long enough segment to talk about that, so we'll move on.
All right, whatever, man. We'll save it for next week. Folks, hang out after these words. We'll be back with NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver Brendan Newberry right after this.
Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC is your Lexington, Kentucky and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority. From pre-owned to the newest models, Tincher Williams is the only place to shop in the Lexington area. Check out their website for your next new or pre-owned vehicle, www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. All of the full-line inventory of in-stock and on-order Buicks, GMC trucks, and Chevrolets are right there online. Plus, you can check out what's hot at Tincher Williams on the homepage. Schedule your service appointment. Browse the inventory. Look for Tincher Williams specials. Check out your financing options. See what GM incentives are being offered for your vehicle. You can even shop for new tires at their convenient online tire store and get directions from wherever you are right there. It's all online at www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. That's Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC, located in London, Kentucky. Your Lexington and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio. And now the guy that traded paint at Talladega.
Everybody get up!
Okay, I'll grant you a gallon of purple for a can of chartreuse. And he ain't wrapped too tight. Here's Andy DeLay and the Burning Rubber Radio crew.
Hey, welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio. It's time that we get into our interview segments of the show. Charles, you ready to talk to one of our favorites?
Oh, there's no doubt. And plus, folks, we got to let you know beforehand, he's one of the best dressed Camping World Truck Series drivers you're going to run into out there. I'm telling you. I mean, he was just styling and profiling.
Yeah, that's right, folks. We've got Brennan Newberry, driver of the number 24 with us. How you doing, Brennan?
I'm doing awesome.
Man, it was a heck of a run you were having at Daytona till the big one, buddy.
I know it, man. I know it. Our gunbroker truck for that weekend, it was actually pretty cool because, we could always say, that we were, just at Daytona again. I mean, that's one of my favorite places, and I can't tell you, how special it was to have a new sponsor for us, gunbroker.com, coming on board. I felt like we had a really good truck. The new configurations of the nose and tail looked really good on our Chevy Silverado, and man, I was so excited. I knew we were biding our time. I have a spotter this year that's different than last year, 10 feet away. Same spotter as my biggest old California native, Kevin Harvick. So it's a pretty cool deal to have him on there. But Daytona was also special for us because I'm actually running full time in the NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series East Division. So we kicked off our first race of that weekend. We ran February 16th at New Smyrna Speedway. We finished 13th and qualified 5th for the Daytona Battle at the Beach for sponsored by UNOH. And I thought we were running well. Qualified 5th, had a pretty good car. Unfortunately, it's a really short, flat track, and you know what happens to short tracks. You just sometimes get caught up, and fortunately, we did that day. Finished 22nd, but man, I felt the truck race is really going to be where we excelled, and really where we got some good exposure, and it was. We had a teammate, John King, there. He was in the 20 gunbroker truck, and we were running side by side there for a little bit. It was a little bit freaky running side by side with your drafting partner there, but it was very fun, and everybody from NTS Motorsports really worked hard on the off season, especially with all the rule changes and whatnot to get those trucks where they need to be. I felt like we had a lot of speed, and man, I wish we could have got to the end of the race because at Daytona you really don't know what to expect, but I expected our two trucks to be up there battling for a good finish.
No doubt, Brendan. And, of course, that's one of the things I want to just jump right straight into, buddy, because, of course, there was the rule change. Of course, no bump drafting. You could put a bumper on somebody for a little bit, but then you would kind of like have to back off because NASCAR would be going, nah. Now, let me ask you, because we've done talked to a couple of guys about it. How do you feel about this rule? I mean, because basically y'all are riding around there. Most of you in the back are probably at half throttle.
Yeah, and, to me, I never really did much push drafting to start with. I thought that, I thought the bump drafting to me was just really what I'd always done before. I'd always just on the backstretch bump somebody. I never wanted to, I tried to be a little bit courteous. You never want to bump somebody going into a corner, into the tri-oval, just because to me, it seemed like you would lead yourself to bigger consequences. It gives you a little bit of an advantage, but it led you to more consequences than good. So I always tried to follow the bump rule anyway. So it kind of played into my favor because I was never really one to push and, get hooked up with another truck because, my teammate last year, we never really got hooked up. And so, we never really got to work with the teammates. So I was always kind of in line, bumping someone else, make them know, hey, I'm here. I'm just going to bump you whenever I feel like I can. And that's really what I did for the Next Era Energy 250 truck race at Daytona, was just kind of ride in line. I'd give someone a bump when I felt they needed it, and, on the straightaways, kind of back off going into the corners, and then, just kind of work back up. It kind of makes an accordion effect, which I think is good and bad, about the bump rule. And yeah, NASCAR was very strict on it. They said we will not allow anybody to be hooked up for more than a bump. If you are, then it'll be our judgment of who gets, black flagged or moved to the back or even gets a warning. So, I tried to play good cop there, and just tried to follow the rules and make sure that I was not caught up in any case, because I knew we had a really good truck, and I didn't want to really sacrifice any track position for sure. At Daytona, it doesn't really matter where you are, but it's always nice to be up front and see the leaders. And so I knew John and I had the same idea. We're just gonna kind of ride around, to bump whenever we felt we could, so that if it came down to it, we could bump one of our NTS Motorsport trucks to the win.
Now, of course, too, Brandon, I mean, we kind of saw, in years past, the front ends, of course, have always been different on the trucks. You got a little bit different matching up, and it did get a little tricky. And I guess NASCAR saw that getting the front ends more, I guess, universal. If you look at them when they were matched up at the back of the truck, they were actually probably a little bit better designed to do some drafting. Do you think NASCAR may say, well, okay, guys, we've seen y'all ride around in the pack like this. Now it's time to uncork it. Let you go after it.
Heck, I wish. I mean, because I think that's one of the first things I thought. I said, man, these new noses and tails that all the manufacturers have come up with, and like I said, the Chevy Silverado is definitely my favorite. I think all the people at Chevrolet have done a great job, and they put a lot of R&D into it, and it just looks awesome. But yeah, they are flat, and they almost all of them match up perfectly. Where the old style kind of had that more rounded feel. So if you would get behind somebody, or someone would get behind you and give you a bump or a push, you're kind of just like on a marble. At any point if you moved a little bit, too much one way or too much the other way, it could have been detrimental for both vehicles involved. Where now everything is pretty much flat. It's much easier, and it actually invites you to want to push. And so that's why we really had to be smart about how we were in the draft, kind of the bump, kind of let off a little bit, use the brake a little bit more, just to make sure that you didn't get hooked up. Because really, when I went up and bumped somebody, it didn't feel like a bump because you didn't see the truck move in front of you. You just kind of got there, you heard it, but the other truck didn't really react in the tail end. It didn't make them happy or anything. And it actually looked really solid, looked really good. So heck, if NASCAR allows us to bump draft, I think it would. I think it would be really good, and almost to the point where maybe 2 or 3 trucks could get in line and really not affect anybody, because it didn't matter. I actually had to try this. I didn't know, just me. I wanted to be smart about it, but I bumped a little bit on the left rear, a little bit on the right rear, and right in the center, and they all reacted the same, which I thought was very, very cool and definitely a good change on the speedways.
Yes. Says a lot for NASCAR's new aero package in the truck series. Hey, Brendan, looking forward to the next race. Of course, you guys are going to be at the Martinsville Speedway here at the end of the month. You're going to go from super speedway, laying it wide open and not lifting, to short track racing. What do you think of that? Tell us about how you're looking forward to Martinsville.
Yeah, definitely. And what's really going to be good for me, in my situation this year with NTS Motorsports, going back and forth between the NASCAR Campbell Truck Series and running full-time in the NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series East Division for 2014, I get to run a lot of those short tracks. I ran 2 short tracks before I even ran Daytona, and I'll be running a couple more short tracks before I even get to Martinsville for the Chuck race.
Wow.
I just ran Phoenix International Raceway last Thursday, and for the Casino Arizona 75, and I ended up finishing second in that race, and it was really cool for us to go to one of my favorite tracks, which was PIR, Phoenix International Raceway, run second, had Cole Custer right in my grasp there, finished I think 3/10 behind him, so we were so close. It was a very awesome finish, and so I'm actually going to go to 2 different short tracks. I'm going to go to Bristol on March 15th, and then I'm also going to go the very next weekend to Greenville Pickens. So those are 2 short tracks, and even the Daytona Battle at the Beach, and it prepares me for the shorter tracks like we're going to go to with Martinsville Speedway in the NASCAR Camping World Truck. So I think that's why I'm excited to get back to Martinsville, because I'm running more short tracks and I get more experience. So hopefully, a place like Martinsville, which was tough for me, since like you said, we're going to most of these mile and a half where it's wide open, super speedways where you're wide open bumping, and a lot of these bigger tracks. To go to these shorter tracks, it was a bigger challenge. So the fact that I get to run all these other tracks and now run short tracks in the Can-Am Pro Series East and get to go to a place like Martinsville, I think it's going to play really, really good and hopefully give me a little bit of advantage.
Definitely, I agree. And the NASCAR K&N East Series is an excellent series. Actually, I guess there's some power similarities between the Camping World Truck Series trucks and the K&N East cars. I guess it used to be called Busch East Series. What do you think the comparison is on short tracks power-wise?
I mean, power-wise, like you're saying, they are very close. I don't really know the number, but it feels like they're within 100 or 200 horsepower. Both the Can-Am Pro Series and the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series motors are motors that have to be wound up. They take a lot of momentum. If you're in the middle of the corner and someone cuts you off and you have to get off or you have to throttle for any reason, it loads up. It's like it takes forever to get going again. So, it's very much a momentum-based motor, very much a momentum-based series. Even on the mile and a half, you have to keep these things wound up. And for the NASCAR Camping World trucks, and so they really complement each other, which is very, very cool, and it helps me a lot jumping between those 2 cars. The biggest difference, obviously, is the bi-splies, where give you a little bit more wiggle room, give you a little bit more of a free feeling, rim moving inside the sidewall of the tire, filling the K&N, and a little bit harder tire, not as much grip in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. So, going back and forth, that's the biggest difference. Obviously, the tracks we go to in both series are different, but again, they complement each other. I mean, we're going to get to go to a lot of the same places, in the Can-Am Pro Series as we do the truck, which I'm very excited about, like the Dovers and the Phoenixes, and and the New Hampshire's one that I'm very, very excited for. So, hopefully, even going to some of the road courses this year, NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series will help me when we go to the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park and NASCAR Camping World Truck. So a lot of great things. I'm very stoked. I can't thank my parents and Bob and Monica enough. Core 24 has decided to come along, and they're sponsoring my Can-Am Pro Series East Division Championship for the whole season. I have Gunbroker along with Core 24 with me throughout the season. In my 12 events I'm running in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series this season.
Awesome, buddy. Well, I tell you what, we're going to keep track of you all season as always, and of course be stalking you at the track. But now we got to step out and pay a few more bills. But now I tell you what you got to do. You know those 3 famous words, buddy. You got to yell them, wake up the neighbors, scare the cat off the couch, and all that good stuff, buddy. Let's hear them.
Oh, I will, and I'm going to apologize a little bit because just after Daytona, going back and forth between North Carolina and Daytona, it was going from hot to cold. I got a little bit of a cold, so I'm gonna give it the best shot I had because I was like coming on and saying it for you guys. So you guys ready?
We're ready, buddy.
All right, hold on. I got the throat all cleared up. This is Brendan Newberry, driving the Can-Am Pro Series East and the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. I'm burning rubber, baby.
Yeah,
There it is, folks. That's right. We'll keep track of him all year long, boys. And I tell you what, we got to step out and pay a few more bills. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Mickey for Bed Bug Detection Services. Bed Bug Detection Services rescues dogs from the Humane Society and the SPCA, then trains them at the Florida Canine Academy. We then pair them up with a handler where they will spend the rest of their lives in a happy family home working in the community. We want to rescue our second dog, but we cannot do it without your help. We are fundraising to bring home our next canine. Please go to bbds.us, that's bbds.us, and do your part in helping us rescue another dog. bbds.us will give life, home, and a meaning to another dog. bbds.us. With every donation, you will receive a signed postcard from our current bed bug detection dog rescue, Lily. Go to bbds.us. And thank you.
Did you know that birthday parties help build confidence in kids?
Yeah. Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Oh, totally. Did you know that friendly kids have more friends?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to the radio team that has no problem kissing your
radio edit
to get an interview.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio. Andy DeLay beside Charles Robinson, sitting here giving you an hour of adrenaline-filled motorsports, of course, or something like that. Anyway, it's time for our very own Dirty Dan to give us the grassroots wrap-up. Let's hear it, Dan.
All right, Swami, you're right, man. This next guest that we've got on the Grassroots Spotlight segment here this week is a pretty cool one, man. He's somebody that I look up to here in Indiana, and I'll never be as good as he is, man. But anyway, Sean Buckley from jackslash.com. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Just sitting here on a Monday morning. The sun's shining, a lot of snow on the ground, and doing taxes, so it's a pretty awesome day.
Man, I tell you what, I think we got slammed with the snow here in southern Indiana, and you escaped this round.
Yeah, we got some snow on the ground. All it does is spin the tires when you want to go eat, but when you want to drive it or leave the driveway. But looking forward to some racing, that's for sure.
That's correct, man, and that's what we're here to talk about. First of all, let's get out there. Jackslash.com is your home website, man. That's your thing. But you got some pretty cool stuff that you're doing this year. But let's talk about Jackslash. Tell me about it.
Well, basically, we started Jackslash back in 2005, and quick story. We wanted to. I moved here from Southern California to chase the racing, so started the website in 2005, and basically just wanted to start it to basically show my family and friends what I was doing out here. I was so jacked and so excited, and still am, about all the stuff that's going on. And the website has definitely taken on many different looks, feels, attitudes, and whatnot. And now it has shaped up into a video-on-demand website that we've started about 4 years ago. And, everything's going pretty good. We really try to, pride ourselves in the media thing, and just an all-encompassing part of it, all different facets of it. And, whether it's, doing the video stuff, doing TV stuff, doing every little thing, the social media stuff, which is probably the most important, just everything. And that's kind of what Jackslash means. It's kind of the whole jack of all trades kind of thing, and I guess I learned from an early age that if you're going to want to make money in this sport and have a good time and keep getting work, you kind of got to learn everything.
That's a fact, man, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I started, a couple years ago, and everything's been rough, man, and we're just getting to the point where things are getting smoothed out. So, I can only imagine the amount of work that you've put in. Now, Jackslash, it's a paid site, correct?
Oh yeah, it's a video on demand site. It's a yearly subscription basis. It's $59.95 a year. I mean, it's literally like, I don't forget what it breaks down to. I think it's 15 or 16 cents a day. And, we put up a ton of stuff on there. We're actually launching a new site. Hopefully this week we're putting on the final, the hood and the tail tank on it and everything. It's like a race car trying to get that thing ready. We got a company out in Las Vegas that's doing that for us, a media company, and they're moving right along on it. But, no, man, the website's good. It seems like a lot of things are going that way. I mean, heck, just now, WWE, they just launched their network, the wrestling, professional wrestling, they just launched their on-demand platform. So I think like a lot of things are going that way with on-demand, especially, in HD and the way technology is going, man. We just wanted to kind of get ahead of the curve and hopefully keep our head above water when the technology does really hit. We can kind of be right there when it happens.
You're right. You at Jack Slash, you guys have been ahead of the curve for, like you said, over the last 3 or 4 years. The content there is awesome, man. It's unexplainable the amount of content you got there and the quality that it is. But moving on from that, like you said, there is a new jackslash.com. Is that going to be the website address, Sean, for this new site that's launching, or is it going to be something different?
Absolutely, it's jackslash.com. We're giving it a facelift and it's going to just make a couple things a little better for the site. Just the prices never change for our subscribers, and hopefully we're looking forward to launching that site this week.
That'll work. All right, man. Now let's talk about the big news. As if the new jackslash.com is not enough, man. You got some serious stuff going on, Buckley. Tell me about this MAV TV stuff, man.
Well, basically, we're back for a second year. Last year, we put a deal together with the Lucas Oil Productions group, MAV TV group. They're all one and the same. They're all under the same roof out there in California. And we pitched a deal to them to do an Indiana Sprint Car TV show, and it literally took no time to get it done. It was pretty amazing how it all went, and I have to thank longtime friend Rob Klepper for that, because I'd reached out to him, and he said, I don't really know, but you can shoot this guy an email. And I shot, that particular person an email, and he said, yeah, why don't you send me a sizzle reel of what you got, and we can take a look at it. Send him, I had something all ready to go, send him a little reel, and luckily for us that we had a guy on the inside that I actually had worked for a few years ago when we used to do some pit reporting for the Speed Network. So he actually works now for MAV TV out west. And luckily, when they went to have the meeting to pitch new ideas, for the 2013 season, he was in on that meeting, and they said, hey, we got a guy out in Indiana, sprint car guy, he wants to do a show. And luckily, our guy Steve there, he made us look good, and here we are, man, back for another season.
Now, I'm telling you, I know that you had a show called Flip the Switch going for a while that a lot of people really look forward to, including myself. Is that what you've done? Did you just kind of take what you had been doing with that and parlayed it into the Indiana Sprint Car show that's on MAV TV, or is it a whole different production team and thought process behind it?
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny, the Flip the Switch idea kind of came up in 2009, where, just like anything, you're sitting there one day and you have an idea, and you have two options: you can see it through and do it, or you can not do it. So, sitting on the couch one day, thought, man, Flip the Switch, that'd be kind of a cool name for a TV show or a show, internet show, whatever. So anyhow, it started off, we just did it on the web back in 2009, and then we ended up putting it on local TV here in Indiana, central Indiana, on WNDY 23, and then the following year, we put it back on the internet as a web show, Flip the Switch, and then, of course, we signed the deal with MAV TV, calling it Flip the Switch. Well, all along, they were never really on board with that title. They didn't really, as corporate and TV and the way things work, they were really conscious and worried about people flipping through the channels and seeing Flip the Switch. And to them, it's like, change the channel, flip the channel. We don't stop here. Flip the Switch doesn't just scream out auto racing, which was their point. So basically, during the off season, once we completed last year, we were done shooting, we had some conversations. They're like, well, let's think about changing the name, rebranding the show. And I said, well, okay. And then Dirty 30 came about. Everybody wants to ask, well, how'd you come up with that name? Well, it's a dirt track show, and it's 30 minutes long, so we put the two together, and we're pretty confident and optimistic about this season. We got a lot of cool things going on. A lot of the cool things on the table, actually.
That's anything you can tell us about?
Well, not quite yet.
I tried, man. You got to give me an A+ for effort, man. I tried.
Yeah. Well, last year we did 26 shows, and this year we're on pace we'd like to do 30 on the nose because it all works. I mean, Dirty 30, 30 shows, 30 minutes. So if everything goes according to plan, we will have 30 shows, if not more. But we'd like to keep it at 30. But people can definitely look forward to seeing some sprint cars, hopefully some midgets, hopefully some wing sprint cars, and not just in Indiana. So
that's going to be
cool,
man.
We can't let the cat in the bag just yet.
That's going to be cool. Now, I'm kind of partial to the name Dirty 30, but totally unconnected. But I'm kind of biased towards that name. But at any rate, tell us the air times. Do you know the air times? I know the launch dates are coming up for these on MAV TV. What are the launch dates and the air times going to be, Sean?
Well, as far as I know, they tell me over at the network, they tell me that we're going to retain our same time slot, Thursdays at 3:30 and 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And as far as I know, we're going to keep that. And as a lot of people know that watch the network, that actually get the network, Thursday is their motorsports day, their motorsports lineup. So we want to definitely stay inside that and keep that. And, as far as anything else changing, that's pretty much where it stands for now.
All right, that'll work. All right, Sean, we got to get out of here, but I appreciate you picking up the phone and taking this interview today, man. It means a lot on a lot of levels to me. And fans out there, MAV TV, holler at your cable providers. I know I've done it down here in Evansville, Indiana, and they are adding MAV TV to our local lineup here in Newburgh, Indiana, here in the next couple months due to the demand. So if you holler loud enough, they'll add it. It's a great network. And Sean, once again, thanks a lot. www.jackslash.com, MAV TV, Dirty 30. I mean, you got hashtags all over the place for this thing, don't you?
Yeah, we also are relaunching our merchandise deal. We're going to have Jack Slash shirts and hats and Dirty 30. We're actually branding that Dirty 30 name, so we're going to have stuff available for people to wear and whatnot. So we got a lot of things a lot of things we're juggling here. So it's a lot of fun.
That'll work. All right, Sean, once again, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch up with you later this season, man. I really do want to talk to you later on in the season to see how things are going and see how it all panned out for you.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for having us.
All right, Swami, it's back to you, brother.
Thank you very much there, Mr. Dirty Dan. That's awesome stuff. And by the way, Dan, I'm glad you got out of jail last week. Welcome home. And folks, hang out. We have NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver Brian Silence on the horn when we come back here on Burning Rubber Radio.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jens Scott from Summit Point Kart in Summit Point, West Virginia. If you're looking for a real racing experience on a real racetrack, come out to Summit Point Kart this weekend. For as little as $25, you can get your racing career started. New this year, Summit Point Kart offers the RX 250 capable of over 75 miles an hour. We're open every Friday from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday from noon till 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 9 p.m. For more information, go to our website, SummitPointKart.com, or you can call us at 304-725-5270. Summit Point Kart, your East Coast karting center.
It's Burning Rubber Radio, an excuse for the hosts to get out of the house on the weekends without having to explain to their wives, husbands, and girlfriends what they're really doing. Now, here are your hosts.
Woo! Welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio. That's the sound of Charles' new Scion revving up in the driveway. Nice, Charles.
Whoop, whoop. Got that right.
Well, welcome back, folks, and here we are. We're on our second interview here, and of course, someone who we always seem to get mad at us somehow because we eat all this food at the track and we forget to call him on the telephone. It's none other than Mr. Brian Silas. How you doing, Brian?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Hey, you were sitting here on the radio eating pizza and talking to you. It couldn't be any better, brother.
Yeah, you better share some of that pizza because you always steal food from our hauler.
Yeah, Brian. Everybody knows Andy quite well, but I thought I'd kind of fixed everything up by giving that real sweet hug down at Homestead.
Okay, well, that kind of makes up for it.
There you go, buddy. Well, buddy, I'll tell you, it's been a little while since we had a chance to talk to you, but now We're all confused here, man, because I'm thinking that you're the jack of all racing trades. I should say that because not only was you in a nationwide car at Homestead, but of course you're in the trucks at Daytona, and then we see you in the ARCA car, man. Tell us, what direction are you starting to go now? Are you going to be like racing everywhere? Are you going to be like a Kyle Busch?
Hopefully that's my goal here in a couple of years, but right now my primary focus is just do the trucks full-time this year. ARCA was just pretty much just to knock off the rust from being out of a car for about 3 or 4 months since the last, obviously, race was Homestead, and just hopefully getting ready for the truck race, and hopefully we get ready to go to Martinsville and have a good finish there, too.
But now, of course, talking about Daytona, we did had Brennan Newberry on there talking about it a couple of weeks ago. We've had some other guys. We've got to ask you, too, buddy. What do you think about the new, no drafting rule, basically, no bumping, no getting with it? How did that seat with you in the trucks?
Honestly, that didn't really bug me too much. I'm kind of old school whenever I was watching the races back in the 90s. And I always enjoyed the pack racing much more than a two-car tandem, just for the fact whenever you're running behind somebody, you're pretty much relying on the guy in front of you. And honestly, I did it because I had to I'll do whatever to win. But that drove me crazy going in the corner and not knowing what's going on in front of me.
Hey, Brian, my question is this year here at Daytona, and I don't know how to say this right. I saw you running up front a whole bunch, and saw you in the top 10, saw you in the top 20 the whole race out there beating and banging with Joey Coulter. What's different this year, man? It looks like you've come out this year with a different step.
Obviously, sometimes it's just with Daytona, sometimes it's just all about choosing the right line. But obviously running in top 10 for the ARCA and top 20, top 15 for the trucks, to be honest with you, I just rode in the back so long that it never worked. I always rode in the back, got in a wreck, was racing, got in a wreck. So it's a lot better showing if you've been running top 10, top 15 all day and getting a wreck than say, well, you've been running 30th all day, you still got in a wreck. I'm just doing it because it seems like I've gotten less wrecks running up front than obviously I have running in the back.
Definitely, and it makes a lot of sense. And real quick, Brian, tell us about what you're doing to prepare for Martinsville.
Yeah, that is my worst track, so I couldn't tell you how to prepare for that place. All I can know is I'll probably go to the Walmart parking lot and just keep on going around in circles for about 20 minutes.
Well, you got to wait till the first of the month, though. Make sure that everybody's got their checks. Well, now let's talk a little bit about, of course, now, you're kind of in newer territory, as we should say, because Andy and I have talked a little bit about, you were a long-time driver for Andy Hillenberg, and, of course, now you're kind of doing a little bit something different. Tell us a little bit about your new team and maybe, what advantages that's going to bring to you this year.
We made a couple changes with Gary Cogswell is still our crew chief. David is actually now our car chief. AJ is going to be coming back on board. We still got Scott and Charlie. And so really in that category, there's been a couple people change, but it hasn't been a huge change. But if we actually switched from Ford to Chevrolet in order to see if we can get some better results. Obviously, it showed at Daytona, and hopefully we can keep on rolling throughout the season.
Well, no doubt. Of course, we've seen a little bit of a drop-off, too, and I guess basically in the Ford camp coming to Daytona and all the tracks. Seems like a lot of teams are going Toyota, Chevrolet,
Yeah, Ford did us. I feel like they've done us pretty good. We're just trying to make a change, and hopefully we can just do a little bit better than we did what we accomplished from last season.
That's awesome. Hey, Brian, I want to thank you for being with us, and I promise we're going to keep up with you more this season, and not promise you we'll call, and we don't call. You know how that goes. But anyway,
yeah, you treat me like your long-lost girlfriend. Yeah, I'll call you. Sure, why not?
Yeah. Charles had it earlier. You're the redheaded stepchild of Burning Rubber Radio, man. We got to change that. We can't do that.
Yeah, my goal this year is to be on the show 4 times. I hope that's not asking for too much.
We promise it's not. Well, buddy, listen, we got to get out of here and talk to the NASCAR chef John Dix, but we can't do that until we hear those 3 famous words from Brian Silas.
Burning rubber, baby. Let's go racing.
That's right, folks. That's Brian Silas. And we have on the line with us now the one and only NASCAR chef, John Dix. How you doing, John?
Hey, guys. Burning rubber, baby. How's everybody doing? And we had a good weekend of racing. Kevin kicked some tail here in Phoenix, which is really good. We're going to do something a little different tonight, guys. We're going to do a casserole. I don't do a lot of casseroles, but I found one called lemon herb broccoli casserole. I know how much Andy loves broccoli, but anyways, we're going to go for it. We're going to start with 1 can of condensed cream of chicken herb soup, a half a cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 bag, which is about 16 ounces of frozen broccoli cuts. You want to thaw them, it'll come up to about around 4 cups, and 1 can of French fried onions. And what you're going to do, you're going to stir in the soup, the milk, the lemon juice, the broccoli, and a half of the cup of the onions into a quart casserole, and you want to cover it. You're going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes or until the broccoli gets tender, which 25, 30 minutes is what it'll take. And then you stir in the broccoli mixture real good. Then you're going to sprinkle on top of the rest of the onions and bake it again for another 5 minutes. And I tell you what, folks, it's a quick, simple little casserole. It's good on these cold evenings, and we're still having some cold down here in Alabama, but it's tasty and it's quick, and it'll do you right. Burning rubber, baby.
Woohoo! That's right, burning rubber, baby. Hang out, folks. We're not done. We'll be back with more Burning Rubber Radio right after this.
Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC is your Lexington, Kentucky and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority. From pre-owned to the newest models, Tincher Williams is the only place to shop in the Lexington area. Check out their website for your next new or pre-owned vehicle, www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. All of the full-line inventory of in-stock and on-order Buicks, GMC trucks, and Chevrolets are right there online. Plus, you can check out what's hot at Tincher Williams on the homepage. Schedule your service appointment. Browse the inventory. Look for Tincher Williams specials. Check out your financing options. See what GM incentives are being offered for your vehicle. You can even shop for new tires at their convenient online tire store and get directions from wherever you are right there. It's all online at www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. That's Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC, located in London, Kentucky. Your Lexington and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority.
Hi, I'm Mickey for Bed Bug Detection Services. Bed Bug Detection Services rescues dogs from the Humane Society and the SPCA, then trains them at the Florida Canine Academy. We then pair them up with a handler, where they will spend the rest of their lives in a happy family home working in the community. We want to rescue our second dog, but we cannot do it without your help. We are fundraising to bring home our next canine. Please go to bbds.us, that's bbds.us, and do your part in helping us rescue another dog. bbds.us will give life, home, and a meaning to another dog. bbds.us. With every donation, you will receive a signed postcard from our current bed bug detection dog rescue, Lily. Go to bbds.us. And thank you.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jens Scott from Summit Point Kart in Summit Point, West Virginia. If you're looking for a real racing experience on a real racetrack, come out to Summit Point Kart this weekend. For as little as $25, you can get your racing career started. New this year, Summit Point Kart offers the RX 250, capable of over 75 miles an hour. We're open every Friday from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., Saturday from noon till 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 9 p.m. For more information, go to our website, SummitPointKart.com, or you can call us at 304-725-5270. Summit Point Kart, your East Coast karting center.
Now it's time to shift gears. Here's Leonard from Cotman.
All shook up. More after this.
Car problems? You can trust your local Cotman man. Cotman has a 40-year history as a leader in car repair and making happy, satisfied customers. Whatever's wrong with your car, SUV, or truck, Cotman will check it out free using state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment. Don't take chances with your car. Bring it to Cotman and let your local Cotman man show you why they are America's transmission and total auto care experts. Visit Cotman.com to download money-saving coupons. Cotman. Real service, real fast.
You ever notice when you're driving on the highway, after a high rate of speed, you just barely touch the brakes and the whole front of the car starts to shake? Doesn't necessarily mean that your front end is out of alignment. Cotman Transmission's Total Car Care also can inspect your brakes, your front end, and your wheel bearings. Cotman Transmissions in Manassas, Virginia offers a free 21-point check. It consists of road testing your vehicle, a thorough visual inspection, and an electronic scan of the computer system. This goes a long way. Come see us.
See Leonard and the fine folks at Cotman of Manassas, 9113 Mathis Avenue in Manassas. Give them a call at 703-365-7200.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio. Evidence that with enough money and a lot of BSing, almost anyone can have their own radio show. Now, back to Burning Rubber Radio.
Yeah, welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio, where we throw the BS around like pizza here in the studio. Charles, it's time for our roundtable, buddy. And all is well in the world because Junior is number one in points, and the cat's driving the wheels off the race car this year. What do you think?
Well, I think, first off, it's getting sponsor time, if we'll remember. So he has to start racing a little bit. Of course, we know National Guard's backing off a little bit this year. I think Diet Dew's going to take a little bit more of the slack. But then again, too, in interviews, he seems a little bit more focused. I guess maybe he's getting rid of the, hey, let's party all week and then go to the racetrack and be hungover and drive a race car. That's not happening anymore. I think you'll actually see this year, you'll see a guy that's probably going to try to run for his championship. But then again, too, you got JJ sitting down there sniffing around on number 7. So, it's all going to be Hendricks.
Yeah, Hendricks is strong. Of course, you got Jeff Gordon in third, and behind him is old Happy Harvick. Harvick had a car this weekend that said freaky fast. And, buddy, that car, that number 4 Harvick was driving with his first win for Tony Stewart, was freaky fast, buddy.
Oh, there's no doubt it was freaky fast. And there's another thing you got to think about this, too. Harvick's always been strong at Phoenix, especially, after the new configuration came in with the different little bit of track. He knows how to run the line. He knows how to get in there with it. But it's got to speak volumes to everybody out there listening that Kevin Harvick switches from Childress. He jumps in with a totally new team, new crew chief and everything, and then all of a sudden, boom, there he is. They run well at Daytona, too. You got to think about that.
Yes, that's true. And I would say Harvick's definitely going to run for a championship this year. He's all energized, rejuvenated, and he's running hard, big time. And, of course, back in 5th place is Jimmy Johnson, who, of course, is my personal favorite out there just because I'd like to see him get number 7 this year. What do you think?
Well, I'd like to see him get number 7, not necessarily this year. I think it needs to be, for the declining – how do you put it, viewership of the NASCAR. Not only is their media crew that they have in there now, just personally, just everybody's talking about it on Facebook, how bad it is, having to listen to both the Waltrips all the time running their mouth. But then also, it's pitiful. They just keep saying the cheater and the cheater. So, but long story short, what NASCAR needs is they need a junior to win a championship, or better yet, even a Jeff Gordon or somebody back towards the back, even a Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch.
Man.
Kyle
Busch, that'd be great.
Exactly. Casey Kane, even. I mean, I'm all about it because those are the guys that are running good. They're making the chase every year, and they just seem to just get right at it and just start dropping off a little bit. Well, if Johnson and Canals cannot figure out this car, which we've heard a little bit of rumors and stuff with a new little bit of aero package, they don't know how to cheat it up yet, that they're going to have a tough time running up there. Now, granted, top 5 for Jimmy. Everybody thinks, oh, no, he's falling downhill. He's an old man, whatever. That's not happening. No. Trust me, that's the best crew chief and the best driver that's in the business. So maybe they'll get 7. Maybe they won't. But like I said, if NASCAR wants to increase a little bit of their viewership, they will let another guy win the championship.
And you know what? I agree. And also talking about the viewership, were you surprised that Danica wrecked this weekend again?
Well, I wasn't surprised. And then again, too, it really wasn't her fault. She had a tire issue. That sounded to me like something in the setup department, a.k.a. crew chief, maybe.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were giving her a hard time saying that she can't drive the race car. Now, granted, we've seen this happen with Juan Pablo Montoya. I mean, look, he came into NASCAR. It's so competitive. She never was really competitive in open wheel stuff, no way. So it's going to take her a little while, but I'm sure Stewart will he'll take the $25 or $30 million sponsorship she's carrying over there, and he'll let her run and wreck all she wants because it don't matter.
That's right. I would care less either, as long as she pays for the race cars. And then, of course, you got Austin Dillon out there running the number 3, which I was thinking there was going to be a bigger backlash on the 3 running out there, but it seems like most folks don't care. And I'll be honest with you, I'm happy to see the 3 running out there, and Austin Dillon's doing fairly good for a rookie. But folks, we got to go out here and say hi to our sponsors. We'll be back with a little more Burning Rubber Radio right after this here.
If you're a gearhead, you probably go online to those hot rod superstores, drooling over the chrome and speed goodies until you find just the right item for your muscle car, tuner car, truck. But what do you do when it comes to fixing the mom mobile? If you're like most do-it-yourselfers, you head to the strip mall parts store and talk to the "Do you want fries with that?" kid behind the counter. Hold on, Bunky. Did you stop to think where those chain stores are getting the parts that you're installing in the vehicle that's used to transport your family everywhere? They get the cheapest suppliers they can find to sell you the parts at bargain prices. Their limited lifetime warranties? What a joke. Remember the last time Mom's car broke down? You heard about that one for weeks. Don't take that chance again. Excelsior Racing has the quality parts you need for your family vehicle. Parts that you can install knowing you're getting the best for your family. Excelsior Racing. Quality parts, personalized service, affordable pricing, fast to you direct. Excelsior Racing. Online at excelsiorracing.com or call 502-909-2034.
Hi, I'm Mickey for Bed Bug Detection Services. Bed Bug Detection Services rescues dogs from the Humane Society and the SPCA, then trains them at the Florida Canine Academy. We then pair them up with a handler where they will spend the rest of their lives in a happy family home working in the community. We want to rescue our second dog, but we cannot do it without your help. We are fundraising to bring home our next canine. Please go to bbds.us, that's bbds.us, and do your part in helping us rescue another dog. bbds.us will give life, home, and a meaning to another dog. bbds.us. With every donation, you will receive a signed postcard from our current bed bug detection dog rescue, Lily. Go to bbds.us. And thank you.
Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC is your Lexington, Kentucky and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority. From pre-owned to the newest models, Tincher Williams is the only place to shop in the Lexington area. Check out their website for your next new or pre-owned vehicle, www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. All of the full-line inventory of in-stock and on-order Buicks, GMC trucks, and Chevrolets are right there online. Plus, you can check out what's hot at Tincher Williams on the homepage. Schedule your service appointment. Browse the inventory. Look for Tincher Williams specials. Check out your financing options. See what GM incentives are being offered for your vehicle. You can even shop for new tires at their convenient online tire store and get directions from wherever you are right there. It's all online at www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. That's Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC, located in London, Kentucky. Your Lexington and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority.
Green, green, green! What's with all the green? Nothing but green. What's wrong with pastels and power colors? This is just wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Now back to the most diverse racing show. Scratch that. The most politically incorrect racing radio show on the internet today. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Burning Rubber Radio.
Yeah, welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio on the internet. Heck, we're on WWXL in Manchester, Kentucky, baby. And, of course, we're out there in Washington State and a bunch of other places. Anyway, Charles, great show, buddy.
Oh, awesome show, and it's always awesome to get to talk to our buddies like Brennan and Brian. And I tell you what, folks, these are the guys that are bringing the sport up. These are the guys you're going to see out there running the Snooze Cup. the Sprint Cup in a few years. And you got to think about it because we're starting to get a generation in there now that a lot of them may be retiring soon from what we hear.
Yeah, that's right. And especially if Gordon wins the championship, he says he's retiring. Got a question for you, buddy. Last week we had old Chico from Moonshiners on the show. You get to talk to him this week?
Haven't got to talk to Chico, but I'm thinking that they've got some production stuff they're doing and maybe some appearances. So I'm going to try to give him a call, maybe even, in the next day or two and kind of see if he's got a little something, for the cause.
Yeah, something for the cause. Anyway, folks, thanks for hanging around with us here on Burning Rubber Radio. As always, we'll be back next week doing it all over again. Andy DeLay and Charles Robinson, along with Bob Steele back there. We're all yelling, Burning Rubber, baby!
Burning Rubber Radio is a copyrighted production of the PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com, a division of the Scorpion Radio Group, Incorporated. This program may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit permission of PMN. Check out our Facebook Facebook page, facebook.com/burning-rubber-radio, or go to the performancemotorsportsnetwork.com website and look for our landing page there. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or the Scorpion Radio Group, or those of our advertisers and marketing partners. Be listening next week as we munch through 4 or 5 large pizzas, half the salad bar, and at least a case of chilled adult beverages.
Hey there!
Huh?
What about the guests and the motorsports coverage and all the other cool stuff they do?
Oh, yeah, well.
Now, come on now.
And they do one hell of a show.
Okay.
For Burning Rubber Radio, I'm Cougar Michael.
Burning rubber, baby!